Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Final Fantasy VFX's video, and you are in the budget build. Don't be discouraged with the Sephiroth. I'll be talking about that very shortly here. And before we continue, I want to give a small update on my situation. For those who care, you can. For those who don't care, you can skip past. If you do care, there is even a bigger situation than when I originally thought. So my car had to be taken to an actual car shop, basically, and it's going to be way more expensive than I even imagined it was going to be. So I really don't like doing this, but if you'd like to help me, please consider joining membership on my channel, or copy and pasting my PayPal link into a new browser tab, or clicking my Ko-Fi link, and all of that stuff will go to me as well. Just wanted to point that out there. So anyways, about Sephiroth. For these stages, I'll be using Sephiroth, and you can use anyone that has a one-hit finisher, basically, because these are so... like, the finisher really won't matter all that much. As long as he has a decent modifier and he's a one-hit, you'll be alright. And I try to make him as budgetly as possible. Like, you don't need his vision card. I could have taken that off. And I'm trying to make him as budget as possible. Like, yeah, I think this is okay. And he's at a disadvantage because he's actually... this guy actually is strong against dark, I think. All these bosses are, except for the one dark enemy. So he is at a small disadvantage. The rest, as long as you have someone who can do fire imbue, you don't need Louise. And the rest, I mean, Aerith was free, Gilgamesh is free, Zahn is free, and I don't think any of their equipment actually matters, as long as they're dual wielding, I guess. Their equipment doesn't really matter all that much. They could be naked if then, and she doesn't have anything special on either, and Aerith doesn't either. And so, with that being said, let us get into the fight. Now, if you don't have anyone who can finish on the first turn, then go ahead and get someone who can entrust. But other than that, I think we'll be all right. So we're gonna triple cast AR chaining. I know this is kind of a nightmare for a lot of people, triple casting AR and WoW, right? But have to do it. And for lid, we're gonna go ahead and do. I don't think we actually need, well, I mean, the fire impel is nice, and the break, of course. Louise is going to do fire imbue, the fire starter, and she's also going to do killers, and also. The rest of these things don't really matter all that much, actually. As long as you do the killers and fire starter, you'll be alright. And then our finisher. Yep, you're good. So that's pretty easy, right? I mean, Zahn can Zahn can be replaced with, but I just recommend having Zahn. I mean, most people probably should have Zahn by now. Lid is quite good, but I mean, she's also a 7-star, so a lot of these 7-stars are very accessible. Louise could just be any fire imbuer. As you could tell, that the killers didn't really seem to matter all that much. And yeah, of course. But just because we're using Sephiroth doesn't mean you can't get that score, guys. So let's move on to the next fight. For this fight, you'll need to bring two-handed weapons. So for our two chainers, we brought two-handed weapons with us. It could be any two-handed weapons, as long as it's a two-handed weapon, it's alright. And we also brought Dr. Aiden for dark imbue. So that being said, let's get into it. They're going to break with a lid. We're going to go ahead and dark imbue. That's all he needs to do. Triple cast AR chaining. And Aerith LB. As long as the chain doesn't break, we're good. I'm always sweating a little bit on camera, guys, because you never know. I'm doing this all in one take, so we're doing pretty good so far, though. Aerith doesn't seem to really break anything, so that's always a good positive thing there. So if you have Zidane, have someone who can trust him on that, if you would like, or any other finishers like Last Will. We'll be using Last Will in this video as a budget finisher as well. So you could use Sky as well. Sky would be more than fine. This one's also very accessible because Lunafray is a 7-star and she'll be water imbuing for us. And then the rest of the team is the same as it has been, so it's pretty standard. You don't have to change very much except for killers. Nothing special about this guy. Counterattacks, you don't care about that if you're beating him on the first turn, right? So we have water imbue. That's all she'll be doing is water imbue. And for lid, this breaks, and then triple cast AR and also Eris LB. There it is. Pretty easy, right? I mean, as long as we're almost using almost the same team for most of them, so I mean, it's something. Obviously, we won't be able to really use this team against magic stages, but we have a team for that as well. So pretty easy there, guys. You should be able to get the same scores as me, even without Sephiroth. You don't need them. Whatever finisher you got is good enough. Moving on. For the next stage, we'll be using physical. We have Sylvie for Thunder Imbue. We have Rain for Beast Killer. And you only need him to be EX0 for to get that Beast Killer. And the rest of the team is the same. So let's get into it. So all Rain will be doing is the Beast Killer buff, which is Beast Breaker. Sylvie will be doing triple. And Bolt Egg. And now this is the part where you could do all eggs in one basket on your finisher to help him out with that. And we're also going to use Hop into Battle because she's also a breaker in this fight here. And then the rest, triple cast AR and Eris LB and finisher as it has been going on, guys. Pretty easy so far, I would say. Do this. Yep, still good. I mean, as long as you're hitting the previous damage cap of 2.1 something, 2.14 something like that, you're good. So you don't even need to be doing as much damage as me. Really, you really don't. Okay, moving on. Alright, moving into the magic territory here. We have Zidane, who could be anyone who gives Bird Killer, but he's at EX0, so that's pretty budget, I would say. I mean, he was accessible for free. And we have Laswell, whose stats are not the best, but he gets the job done. And with those killers, 3% Lumpers damage, and 3% Avian Killer. Although I'm not sure if this is... Oh, this is Stone. I feel like this is not right. I feel like he's not built correctly, but I still think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's alright. I don't think he's built correctly. Whoops. We were on the Earth version. Whoops. So now he should be built correctly now. He should be built. Sorry about that, guys. There's the 300% Stone Killer that I knew I had it. It's very confusing because I'm looking at a different screen. So, anyways, Bart's is here, but you don't need him if you don't have him. It's okay. Bring someone else who can do Win and View, and the rest is very accessible. Three 7-stars on my team and one that was free. So I mean, you can't get it much better than that, right? All right, so this time we're actually gonna have to have help here. So we're gonna go ahead and use Marion Watch Over Me, Hop into Battle. Although I guess we don't really need that, but we do need all eggs in one basket. Bart's is going to shift and use his LB, because that will be the win in view for us, and a small boost in stats if they need that. But his little purse is not maxed, so it's not going to be much. Then Lid is going to break, and also Imperil for wind. And then triple cast AR and LB. And his LB hits twice, so we kind of know how good that is now, right guys? With Knights of Grandshield, this guy actually hits twice. So if I'm hoping that they someday buff Lastwell, because he has the potential of being really good. See how much damage he just did there, guys? That's Lastwell. That's Lastwell, guys. If this guy gets buffed, he has the potential of doing really good damage because, just for the fact that he hits twice, which kind of went over some people's heads because they were too busy talking bad about him because he was, you know, a magic finisher. But I think he has a lot of potential, guys. All right, here's the Earth team. Sorry about that previous part there, but now we know they have 30% Avian Killer, and we also know that I meant to say for this the name for the last part, so sorry about that. But he has Avian Killer buff. Whoever you have for Avian Killer, that's completely fine. Probably Louise or anyone else you have. And then the rest are fully accessible, as I mentioned before. I love this background, by the way. This is my favorite background for this. I always love coming into this fight. So Zidane's going to use his I need everyone's help for Avian Killer buff. Sylvie is going to triple, and she is going to go ahead and use Gravel Egg, and on top of that use all eggs in one basket for Lastwell, and also Marion Watch Over Me. We have lid for the brakes this time, so we don't need Sylvie for the brakes. So she'll just do the brake, and then Lastwell will use LB and triple cast AR chain. That's what they're basically always doing. They're just triple casting AR chaining with Earth Imbue, of course. And his finisher is quite fast, guys, but it hits twice, so even though I was early there, it was still 30%. So it's still good. And like his damage is really good for hitting twice. It really is. Now that's not as, I think because I did it a little too early, but we still hit over what we need to hit, so we're good. Yeah, we still hit over what we need. So Lastwell is not a bad option, guys. Even though he doesn't get variance, that's okay. And I think we're done. Oh wait, no we're not. This one's gonna take the longest to talk about. This one is quite the experience. This boss was the reason why this fight took so long, guys, for this video to come out. But we'll be getting into it, guys. So this is gonna be done in turn 2 instead of turn 1 this time around. Let's get into it. All right. So Ling is going to shift over, and she is going to triple cast 2 times Passionate Performance and also Dragon Dancer. Elena is going to use double cast, and she's going to use Crystal Fragmentation and also Prediction of Azure Crystal. The second one doesn't matter as much as the first one. Zana's going to use his LB. Solo is going to shift and just use the cooldown for his quad cast. Louise is going to use, make sure you click the middle one, and then we're going to use Diverse Arsenal, and the other two don't matter as much, but then we're going to use Incapacitate Target, which is the main focus point for this. And make sure you click the middle one because the other ones either have some break resistance or can't be broken for spirit, so always make sure you click on the middle one, guys, which is Miss Palm A. And then Fistless is going to use all 3 of her abilities that don't do any damage. You won't take any damage here. She has poison immunity, I forgot to show this. She is 100% provoke and dodge and also poison resistance. sorry I didn't show that. And this is my Fistless build. It's as good as it's gonna get. And I don't have Blue Storm upgraded, so she would have a lot more stats. The rest don't matter as much. Fistos will be doing the damage that will finish this off. So Fistos will be using her LB, but not yet. Not yet. And we're gonna go ahead and do Catch Me If You Can, Thief of the Night, and ×2 paralyzing. And also Ellen is going to shift back over. I believe she's just auto geared. We're gonna use Crystal Refraction, Piercing Prism, and Blade Self Salvation. Soul is going to two times of this, and then that. We get that going. Louise is going to shift over while I cast, and she's going to use Neutralizing Iconic Blaster and also Disarming Iconic Blaster for helping with Fistolis. And also Ling is going to use her Brave Shift Lone Burst. Now I might mess this up. There's a lot of components with this, guys. So first Chain Bolting Strike and then CWA. That's how I figured it out. So that being said, let's get into it, I think. And we got over the 100 chain, and let's see the damage. It should be decent because last night I tested this and it did pretty good. Yeah, we're good. All right, so that was a first try. First try in video. Very nice. So that last fight, you could maybe consider not as budget, but Fistolis is a very old unit now. And her finisher is not even that strong. You could probably just use, well, any other, you could probably use Soul, but it would take a little longer because it's not AoE. But the vines don't really do anything after you've defeated the main piece there. So this is the main damage here. Alright guys, so that'll be it for this video. Now you might be saying, hey, why aren't you doing this fight here in the last one? Well, those two will be included in the next video, which will be also as budget as possible. As budget as I possibly can make it. And then after that, I'm gonna try my best to get better scores on those two fights. But with that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, again, make sure you click on that join if you're interested in helping me out. Click the join button, or go down below. I'll have it in the comment section down below my Ko-Fi link and my PayPal link. Make sure you copy and paste that because you can't click on it apparently. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.